All right, hello YouTube. It's Mr. Woods FSX, and today we're gonna go through a quick tutorial. Can't even talk on Simbrief. That's Simbrief. Go to simbrief.com. Create a username, password, and log in. When you get through logging in, go to dispatch, or it should be dispatch on the login page. After you log in, it should bring you to a page similar to this or this page. Then you just uh, go to this page and go to dispatch system. When you get to dispatch systems, if you brand new to this, you shouldn't even have a anything in here since you haven't made a flight plan. So this is the initial flight plan um, page on SimBrief that is free. As I say, go and create register and create an account. Open it up, and you should come to this page. You can play with all of these um, variables or options, and kind of play with it and see what you want to do and how you want to do it. Modify it to the way you want to. But today, what I'm doing is showing you how I usually set up mine to get to put in my flight management computer on every pretty much every jetliner that has FMC on it. So and usually it's pretty accurate and up to date. However, I would say that you need to quickly, just as I do, go to um, sometimes in FSX. Um, Long story short, there, if you're going to use this right here, do not basically create a flight uh, with the route planner. That generic flight, don't create it because usually when I do this right here, you cannot use the ATC in FSX. I'm currently running FSX Steam. I stepped up from just a regular box version because this FSX Steam seems to be, I mean, is update a little bit. So right now, like I said, this is Sim Brief. Uh, I'm recording off of Shadowplay, NVIDIA Shadowplay, which is a free program too. This is a free program, and we also have another free program um, for FMC uh, to put in your FMC, your program in your FMC. But this is the main one that I use. But anyway, I'm trying to make this video short, and I will do another video perhaps if I get some likes and comments and however that goes. I'll try to make a more in-depth. There really is not going to be too much I can tell you because I don't play with all these. I can tell you that there is a tutorial guide. I suggest that you go to the tutorial guide because it's pretty good. User and the user guide, the tutorial guide are pretty good. So anyway, let's get back to this. I use the Lido charts. Uh, to my knowledge, and disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I'm kind of learning as I go. But to my knowledge, I just use the Lido charts on this. But what it is these are airlines actually. I just use Lido. I don't know what Lido is, but I've already used it. Always used it since I've been playing the flight simulator. So I know that I can tell you, as far as my knowledge, that like Alpha Lima or AAL is American Airlines. I know some of them, not all of them. I know this is British Airways, uh, Delta, EasyJet, KLLM. I mean KLM, and I think that's Ryan Air and United Airlines. So from my knowledge, that the company sets these up like you can go on the American Airlines setup when it prints your um, uh, flight plan, and I guess this is the one that they use in their format, basically. Or you can go to whatever you're flying. If it's in here, you can go and use that. I use the Lido, seems to work good. You can change this units from pounds to kilogram. Your preference. I use pounds. Contingency field. I think that's what the contingency. I use it on, lose it on auto. Use it on auto. Uh, but it gives you more fuel, 30 minutes worth of fuel, all the way down to 1 minute extra of fuel. I usually leave that on auto. Reserve fuel to give you another 90 minutes of extra fuel, which I don't use that most of the time, but because I use it's another one on here when we get ready to go through this right here, which is right here, and to me it's just easy to leave this um, on auto. Just leave it on auto, and if you want extra fuel, just use this because it'll give you another. It goes all the way to, I don't know, whatever it goes to, 99%. Um, and like I said, I just use this. We'll go down through the rest of the detailed nav log. Is it'll put, when we print it out, you'll see it'll be a different, some more nav options. I mean, actually information before you get to it once we print it out. ETOPS planning is basically, in a nutshell, the computer figures out, just say, well, if you do transatlantic flights, it figures out, calculates how much, it puts a circle here from the time you leave away from over this to your next spot. Just say over here, it'll put a circle to tell you how far you are from here to here that you land for emergency, or as I understand it. Okay, you got to do research on that. Usually I don't fly transatlantic flights, so a lot of times I have that unchecked. You can do research on it. Plan step climbs. In a nutshell, to me, which I try to paraphrase everything, is you may get up to 20,000, and you can go on up to 25 or 30 or however it is. It just depends on your fuel savings, as I understand it, or that's the way I run it. But a lot of times, I won't I won't put that in here. I just leave it unchecked. Runway analysis. I do use a runway analysis of it, and I, what it does is put that arriving runway. But I don't know what a Simbrief is actually do the weather. Have you do the runways, because a lot of times when you go into flight simulator, um, they'll be saying one runway. I don't know what is according to their weather, or and you come over here and they'll have another runway once it's all calculated out. So then, therefore, the ATC in FSX will differ from this runway, or even your landing runway. This departing runway or arrival runway, your whole flight, your planning brief, it'll be different. So I find it hard to kind of follow with follow along with the try. I've been trying to get the ATC. I mean, to actually do a climb, but I don't think it's really interactive. If you get what I'm saying. So, but I do check that and put it in here. And sometimes I will go to Flight Simulator and actually go into the where I'm gonna go and all that, and then I'll listen to ATIS and then see what they gonna say, and then you click back over and you put that runway in there. So you can do it that way if you want to. All right. Notice is notice to all airmen. I don't know a whole lot. I don't think I know. It's a lot of it's information if you want to include it in your brief flight brief when it calculates. FIR notice. I really don't know nothing about it. This right here is a simple map. I mean, simple maps or flight maps. So I usually, which it'll have a plan. Let me see, can I do that? It is. We're I'm in Mississippi, but usually if I'm going, we're gonna use Jackson, Mississippi, and we'll go to. We'll say go to. Matter of fact, we'll just go to Orlando or Jacksonville. Either way, we'll figure it out when we get up there. Anyway, but what it does is it gives you a right route plan to wherever you're going. So that we'll see that in a few minutes. Anyway, um, I usually use detail. Uh, I don't know what I actually never have changed it to simple, or whatever. All right, and your ARAC is 1712, and as I was recording this video, I got an email that said that the ARAC has changed to 1713. Excuse me. So ARACs, you can get that from Navigraph. Um, it's not free. Some of these planes come with them if you buy a new one. Some of them come with the new air. I don't know if imagine if you can buy this with a subscription, and if you want to subscribe to Navigraph, well, I'll show you like this. I have Navigraph on my computer. And you subscribe to it, and it download this. It's about I think it's like $13 or $14 for 1 month, and it, you don't have to auto update it or anything like that. But then when the next Air Act come out, I don't know what is every month or whatever. I don't fly that much, but it does come out. And what the Air Act does is just updates your runways because they do change sometime. Your stars or your citizen stars, which is standard instrument departure, and stars is standard arrivals or arrivals into the airport. So they do update and the name is changed and all that. So anyway, you can update it. Get your Navigraph subscription. That's um, Navigraph right here, navigraph.com, and go and follow the directions. And if you are just going to fly, um, I use it pretty much for the air, but it does have charts and everything you can subscribe to, and I mean, it's a very detailed chart database, so it's good. But there is another something else that you can use here um, called Sky Vector, and Sky Vector is a very good site. I'll do another video on it if I don't get into it in this video. Okay, but anyway, that's pretty much all that you need, and I will explain all the rest of this as we go. So you want to set up your flight. If something is in all of these except your date, which should be today, and this should be Zulu. I live in the central time zone, so my time is going to be about 5 hours ahead of my local time. It's my Zulu time, or 5 to 6 hours. So if it's 12 o'clock here, of course it'll be 5 if I want to leave at, which is not 12 o'clock right now, but it's 11. So if I want to leave uh, at 11 o'clock, actually this would be, so I think it's 6 hours ahead. So it will be 11, 12, 3, 4 or 5 o'clock actually. Actually, this is pretty much right. Anyway, it's Zulu time, so you have to calculate it up if you want to leave 30 minutes from now or whatever. And it just said it was 11 o'clock. You want to leave at 11:30. You had to calculate it into Zulu time, whatever your time is. Mine would actually be, I want to say 17:30, something like that. Anyway, we'll go here, and actually, this is just your airline. You can make it something up for it or whatever. I don't even think you have to put it. You can put zero zero zeros in there. I don't know, but I usually fly Delta or American. So for this tutorial purpose, we're just gonna put American Airlines, and then we'll click over to flight number. I usually use I usually use 1972, which is my birth date year. So you also can go on to Flight Aware. I got Flight Aware. Let me see. I have anyway. You can go to flightaware.com, sign up for that, and you actually can get a actual airline and look at a flight and what time it departed and all of that. So if you just get into flight simulator, one of my biggest things is free stuff. Get all the free stuff you want. Of course, you know what comes with free stuff. You got to kind of do some sacrifices, and so it won't be like those some of the other flight simulator enthusiasts that you see with all the good stuff, and I call it the shiny little toys, shiny things that work. But this is kind of down and basic. All right, so you got to give a little sacrifice. So we're gonna depart from Jackson, Mississippi, kind of my home base, or it's the closest between that and Memphis, the closest bases, I would say, because I can't get a big plane into my my city little airport here is way too small. So I just use we got today is we use is it Mega Evers Airport, Jackson, Mississippi, which is KJAN. So that's where we're departing from. Then we're gonna go to let's go. Matter of fact, let's go to Miami, KMIA, and well, it just said that, but don't worry about it because it's been set on this page and something probably has changed. Okay, so it automatically will put in your alternate airport, which you can change this and put none if you want to. Um, but it put Orlando, which is fine with me. Uh, and today's date is going to put Zulu time in that most of the time when you go back and just to um, refresh refresh it. I'm gonna just do this real quick. We're gonna do new flight, right? And I'm put the same thing in, and I'll show you 1972 KJAN um, Miami KMIA. So just do the same thing. Anyway, on this one of my favorite aircrafts, we will just go into the airframe, which is your favorite aircraft, or not favorite, the one you're gonna fly, you're planning for on this briefing. I fly a 757-200 or a Boeing 757-300 freighter, but today for this purposes we're just gonna fly a 757-200. That's what it looked like. All right. Um, on your more options, you can play with this if you want to. It's got your climb profile. It's 250, which is below 10,000, and 290 above 10,000 at Mach 78. If you're not used to flight simulator, this is a very first kind of tutorial thing here. Um, a lot of that stuff will be explained to you, but it's 200, like I said, 250 knots. So in United States, anyway, you can't go above 250 speed under 10,000 feet. And then after you get past 250, I mean 10,000 feet, you can go kind of fast you want to go, but it'll be at a cruise rate of Mach or it is Mach 78, and I want to say the 757. I usually have it at anywhere from 76 to 81. Uh, as far as I know about this, this is your cruising index. Like I said, this is Mark 78, Mark 80. Um, I mean, you can set this to Mark 80 if you want to, and just have it like that, or a cruise index profile or whatever. Me personally, um, this thing goes. You have to look it up, but on this Simbrief will tell you what your cruise index will be automatic. And this is your descent profile, which kind of go backwards as this. So you'll leave cruise. This is cruise at top of climb. This is the top of drop. So it'd be pretty much backwards of this right here. Your fuel factor, it'll have some things in there I don't really understand it. Mine usually say P00. Don't worry about it. This is the registration of your plane. Whether you can make this up or not, I think you can, but you got to check with um, internet sources to actually see everything. I don't really know about that as much yet. I haven't did a whole lot of information searching on it. And your fin number, I just kind of leave all this stuff alone. Actually, what I do when I get to this part is leave it like that. Don't worry about it. Okay? Don't mess with this unless you know what you're doing. You can play with it. It says you can view or modify your aircraft database. Your database. I don't mess with it. Anyway, let's go to what you really need. And it says these are automatically calculated but can be overridden, meaning that I can change my time and route and say put 3 hours or whatever. I don't mess with it because from my Jackson, Mississippi to Miami is the time that it's calculating. Basically, we should be en route. After all, it's a short route actually. So, because you're going cutting across the water. Anyway, it's predicting 2 hours and 10 minutes flight time, en route time, uh, taking off on runway 34 Romeo, 34 right. Um, you will arrive on runway 12 in Miami. Taxi out time is 20 minutes, and it should take you, or it's calculating 8 minutes um, for you to taxi to your gate. However they, yeah, to the gate. Extra fuel, like I said, this is where I put my extra fuel, and I'll put, I mean, I think this is 1,000 pounds or extra or something like that. I just, it just depends because sometimes um, you might have to have a go around or something. Uh, but if you put these here on auto, and I would personally give myself another couple 1,000 pounds. That's just me, because I did a flight the other day from Las Vegas to Louisville, Kentucky to Sanford Field, and guess what? I didn't have nothing on here ticked, or I should have put at least 1,000 or whatever, and I got two, or I could see the runway. Actually, when I crashed, it says I arrived at the airport, but my um, landing rate was 2,000 and some. That's another story I'll tell you about later. Anyway, so if you're gonna do anything, you know, if you leave this like this, on my experience, put you 1,000 gallons just in case you burnt extra fuel trying to get up, or whatever happens, just contingency fuel. Or you can leave this and experiment it with this and and say, I want 2%, 10%. Is your contingency fee. Okay, it's up to you. You have to play with these things. Okay. Yeah, altitude is auto, but you can put something. You can put something in here if you wanted to. I leave mine right there, but you could put 19,000. Uh, I leave my auto. Passengers, it'll go all the way up to. I don't know if it goes up to. I don't know that plane. I don't think will hold that many, but uh, you can do full, whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter. It depends on you. For right now, I will leave it auto. If you're just beginning, cargo is self-explanatory. You can put 51 tons. I guess that is the cargo. Cargo. All right, but I usually put by 5,000. I don't know. I, just depends. A lot of times it will come up with it when you see the route generated. Leave zero field weight at zero field weight. I don't put that in there. That's my name, Alan Woods, and it's my pilot ID, which will be issued to you once you register and run one of these. Okay. Now, um, this is the route that is coming up with. You can modify this route if you want to. This is just the first route. I don't know if this is by how they use, I mean, the best or whatever, but you can use any one of them. This is what it suggests right now. So before you can do anything else on this, let me see. Uh, I usually make sure that now you can change this because it's going to estimate at 38. I mean, maybe you don't want to go 38. Go 30. Put it on there, and I mean 300, which is 30,000. Estimated true airspeed is gonna be 460 knots. I pretty much leave that there. Leave this like it is, and I want to find this to see it in the star. Uh, so when I did that, this is how it usually comes out. Don't know what am I see. It's the stars of that. I know for a fact that Jackson is very limited with Z's and stars. So this is the route. We're just gonna minutes with it like that. You see this. It does have a star coming into Miami. It's a star you'll take. Anyway, it says your route is valid for Iraq 1712. Route distance 679 nautical miles plus a 5.2 percent variation, deviation, or whatever. So just take that for what it is. Other than that, this is your what I was talking about your route. So it actually doesn't have that many checkpoints or whatever, and you can move this map and you can blow it up to where it well you see how you actually going in. It'll only blow up so far, but it's better than like nothing. Okay, now let's bring it back down. For right now, that's all you're gonna see. But as far as this, this is your alternate airport. Okay, so as you see when you hover over it, uh, it's gonna show you your waypoints. It's a VOR in Meridian, Mississippi. Um, that should be Florida something. Uh, the IN inbred, or I don't know what it is, but it's another waypoint, and you can just hover over 'em, Bags waypoint, and even when you get to Jackson, it's going to give you the altitude is 346 feet, with as far as your airport elevation, and then it's going to give you your META, which is your weather report, and of course you can do the same thing if you go to Miami. same thing. So got some clouds. Well, I had to show you on some on the other one here. Okay, but anyway, when you get through and you satisfied, excuse me, with everything that you put in here, you also, like I said, you can change these runways. It's gonna show you this is 35 right. So you can change these runways and all wherever you go into and come into, it'll show you all your runways that you can change to. You might have a specific runway if you're not using weather, you know. Um, you can just basically go in there and just plan it and say, hey, I want to use that runway. I want to use 16 right, and in order to do that, only thing you do is click it, put 16 right, it'll put it in there. And said, do you wish to automatically select new stars and sets on this runway? I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna let it do its thing for 34 right, and then we'll do it just like that. Nothing changed. Okay, when you get through with all of this, and you have to be on analyze the route. Okay, excuse me. After that, you want to generate the flight plan. Okay, so when you generate it, only thing you do is click it. It's gonna ask you want to overwrite um any other flight plans that you had. You just say yes. Then it will start generating, unless you got a very long flight plan. Let's say JFK to um, Los Angeles or somewhere on the West Coast or something, then your flight plan it take a little while longer to calculate all the waypoints and all of that stuff. Okay, but in the end, this is what you really get. So this is your generated flight plan. Now, wonder who is that? Anyway, so it's gonna say time it was generated, process took 11, 12 seconds. It's gonna put basically the same thing in a different format. Um, so really, I mean, this is not print form yet. This is just a summary of it. So it's American Airlines, all of it is the same. We're going from Jackson, Mississippi to Miami, Florida. Uh, Cruise alternate is KMCO, which, like I said, you can change that and get us, one closer, airport closer to that if you wanted to. Cruise level is flight level 370, so that's 37,000 feet. Is your date, your depart time, air time, block fuel is what you're gonna put in there when it says fuel. You're gonna put it's 23,086. So that's what you'll put in there. Um, if they want it in like kilograms, some of them ask that, but for the 757, I can put this in there directly. Extra fuel, which I didn't put in there, I should have put. I say like 23,000 block fuel. Uh, I usually would just say 24, 25,000, just to be so you won't face plant like I did the other day after I done flew 3 hours and something and ran out of fuel. As I said, the fuel factor is this got something to do with the burn or whatever. All right, this is your routing, which just says direct to Meridian, then direct to Inberg Waypoint, then direct to Bags, and from Bags you will connect to the Scott's 3, Scott 3, yeah, Scott's 3 star, and it looks a lot different. You don't see all the waypoints and stuff here, but you will. You don't see them up here. So, but this is your basic. If I'm on never mind. That's basic. Air cycle. I don't. You can put in remarks, I guess, if you wanted to, and pretty much this is all the same stuff we already looked at. All right, now you go down to the actual flight plan. And this page is a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff is just what we already what it a summary is still. So it's the same thing that airline, my date, where I'm going to, the plane that I'm flying. Uh, I think that's my tail number and release at 1710 UTC. All right. And so basically, all this weather programming and all of that, you don't really, I don't never use this. There are some videos on YouTube, plenty of them that actually explains all of this, and you can go to help and use the user guide and tutorial guide to look at a lot of this stuff too. So basically, I'm gonna do, as I said, the same thing. A lot of this information you'll see is kind of repetitive sometimes, but somebody knows what all this stuff is. But I do use the main thing I use cost cruise system cost index 95. It's just gonna tell you ground distance 712 nautical miles, air distance, and on and on. Your wind average wind direction right now is 243 degrees at 68. Yeah, average. Yeah. So anyway, I don't use a lot of this. I have seen people use this ISA, but I don't. I pretty much look at this, your maximum takeoff and your estimated takeoff. Make sure that this is below this. And so it'll tell you how many. If you subtract 185,977 from 255,000, it'll tell you what your rest of your fuel or whatever you can put in there. This is landing weight and zero fuel weight. So zero fuel weight is the weight without any people or bags or all of that stuff. I mean zero fuel weight without fuel or anything. But anyway, it's good. Okay. And you come down here and like I said, what you do is we didn't put any extra fuel in there, but like I said, I like to. I didn't do it on that one, but it's 23,086 pounds. So if you want to just, if you're gonna go and follow this thing absolutely positively to the T, you can get away and don't waste any more taxi time than it says or any more taxi in time. You probably can get there. Probably. I wouldn't try it. Anyway, um, it's because it's saying like for your trip time hour 58 it's going to use 12,000 gallons just for that. Your contingency going to be 15 minutes. You got to look at stuff like that. 15 minutes is all the fuel. So this thing, in 15 minutes, this thing burns 1,672 pounds of fuel. Interesting, huh? It's a minimum, maximum takeoff fuel. So it's saying for 3 minutes and 25. Uh, yeah, that's right. Um, maximum takeoff 3 hours and 25 minutes time and 22,386. So if you add something together, you come out with 22, and then you add the rest of your stuff. Your block fuel is 23,000. As that's how I'm explaining it. Anyway, uh, it's a lot of whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, your runway at the actual alternate route, uh, your runway that you will fly into over there. Here is your Sid and Star. Okay, Headley 2, Sid and Brian 4 Star. And it was flight level 230, 32,000 and all this. So you can look at all that to you when you want to. Routing, this is the route ID, and this is kind of really telling you about the same thing as it was telling you when you first got it. It's a route. It just says KJAN, which is Jackson 34 right. Same thing we just went through. to MIA Miami, and it'll be on runway 12. So you're going to plan all that up. All of this, I, I don't use this. I'm just saying, I don't use this. I don't use none of this here, whatever. But what it does is just break down your estimated fuel. I want to say time is your estimated time and the actual and all that. I don't, like I said, really use it. You will, however, use. Let's see some of this. Um, well, you gonna put that up there. It's already the same fuel, uh, but your payload is 31.1. That's pretty much what I use out of that. I don't use too much. And this right here actually just break down your flight log from your contact here. This is Atlanta. You're gonna fly over Atlanta. This is Jackson, the Meridian, top of climb, and you read these right here. Go to these. So up and down. All right. So it's going to tell you where all you're gonna contact. Actually, Houston. I mean, yeah, Atlanta. You'll be contacted by the Houston Center and all that. Okay, so basically, it's just breaking down your all of your waypoints and all the way to Florida. When more information, it tell you to climb what it allegedly is at climb top of climb uh, to this waypoint, and it just tells you about your winds and directions and all that. You can, like I said, look up there at the very top right there, and same, pretty much same same thing. All right, now we're gonna go on down. Flight plan. This right here is what if you was on VATSIM, you would put all of this into your comment dispatch briefing thing comments or whatever. You can put that in as a rule of thumb. All right. So all this other stuff is weather. I mean, specific things that you want to know. To tell you the truth, when I print all this out, I never go any further than, let's see. Okay, I usually go to maybe here because I want to have this on here. Okay, but here is the rest of it. It'll give you a detailed log and crew alerts and all this information if you want to read it. It's one map going directly to got your Austin Airport on it. This is I think it's bad weather right here in this area right now. Uh, it also got your wind barbs. Uh, so if we were going down here, we would have a like a tailwind, and then we will go down, and we actually have a crosswind. And as we go, kind of cross tailwind, it'll push you a little bit, and of course the wind is you see it's blowing pretty much that like that way kind of. So it'll be a little crosswind going across. All right, and you got these very detailed. This right here shows your vertical profile, which vertical is up and down. So it shows your vertical profile to the top of climb, cruise, top of drop, or top of descent, and all the way into Miami. Now, when you get down here, you can say this. I fly the Quality Wing 747. Excuse me, 757 200 version or 300 or 757 300 freighter, which is my UPS, DHL, UPS, TNT liveries, and you can just download this to directly import it into your plane. Uh, I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's somebody else that can show you how to do that. I'm trying to go ahead on and get through with this. If you're on Pilot Edge or VATSIM, then you already know how to do this. If you are on those, but it will pre-file it for you. It will go to the VATSIM site if you click this button, and it'll pre-file it for you. Anyway, what we're gonna do is gonna print the version, because this you can actually print this. So what we're gonna do is show you how to what I do, just so I won't have to keep looking at the computer over and over and this and that and look at my laptop. I usually just print mine out, and that way I got it in my hand if I want to look at something. Okay, so this is how it comes out when it's printed out. Like I said, I usually go to page 5. Well, on this one, I probably, yeah, I go to, I don't need that page. This is for dispatch, ATC if you flying VATSIM or something. I know VATSIM, I don't know about the rest of them, but you can just copy and paste this same thing here into your comments at on that sim startup page. Okay, so really need it, but I always just print up to page 7, 12. Yeah, page 7. Now, so you see that it's just in a kind of about the same format, and you will go same thing. All is the same. So after that, you print this out, and so you have it, and go from there. And I will let me see what I got already. I think I already got one in there. So what I'll do is I got, just to show you a quick, you know, it's probably not gonna act right, but anyway, that is a short tutorial on how to get your flight plan. Um, if you don't want to print this out, just say you want to change something on this. Uh, you can go to edit flight, okay, and say you want to go fly the 747 uh, freighter, okay. Some things will change on this, okay. Uh, just say you want to be Delta airline, right? You, you can delete that, all of that, and put Delta Airlines. All right, flight number same, this and that. I don't want a or yeah, I don't want. I just you know what? We don't want none. Let me see what it works like that. None. So it's just showing you can change your runway to 16, whatever. All right, yep. Want that to do the same thing. Pardon runway. Let's go to runway 27. Yes, I want you to include the stars in it. And basically, what I'm trying to show is that you can change all of this. Extra fuel. Let's put 2.0 in that, and it's already scanned that route. You also can go to this route here if you want to analyze it. It's gonna be good pretty much if you ain't done nothing to it. You also can go and click and erase this, and then when you do that though, they're gonna say this is not valid, okay, because we took the Marcy off of it. So if you want to redo other things and go around other way, you can come in here and re-edit all this. I mean, you know, that stuff here. But analyze it. That's it, pretty much. Now, so basically, this is what this route is taking you out and across this way. See how it changes. So this route, okay, this route. and analyze it, then it puts that way. So you can kind of play around if you want to, and that's more over the land, I guess you can say. If you didn't want to go, you were scared of going across the water, then you can do that. But for our purposes, let me see what this will do. Uh, don't matter really, unless your preference. Okay. So, all right. So in the same thing, it's going to calculate it. Last week, so we changed a few things, that runway, this and that, and I'm gonna show you the difference. That well, let's go back and put our first one in here. Analyze it. Okay, and then here's the difference when you put continuous fuel, 5%, reserve fuel, enough for an hour. Um, we'll try that, and then you'll see the difference. And also, I'm gonna try to show you the Dallas Airlines, and we're gonna do that one and show you the difference in that, how it the format is just laid out a whole lot different. Just put it like that. It's made out a whole lot different. So now for Dallas, you see pretty much changed what we pretty much wanted to change. That's the same. Uh, the plane is playing optimum flight level. Uh, all this is pretty much the same. But when you get down here, you see ship number, and it's got all this in fancy and all that. So all of this stuff changes because now it's in a what Dallas airline configuration. So I'm guessing, because I haven't talked to a pilot, but I'm guessing that this is the way when they look at their configuration. I guess they get it like this. Now, but you can see one thing about it is that the block fuel changed to 55,000 pounds, and the reason too is, which I guess that what actually great thing. Matter of fact, what we'll do is I kind of messed it up because I should have put the same. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going back and changing one thing to show the difference in the fuel. So we'll go to the 752. I didn't think about it when I did. I was just trying to show you that how easy it is to change up. So anyway, we'll do it like that. Same route, analyze it. So the same, and all of this we change, and then we'll go back and look at. That'll be the right way to do it instead of change to a 747, because it's going to burn way more fuel and it can hold way more fuel than the 757. All right, so now uh, for this one, so it's got Delta Airlines now, and the block fuel is 22,274. I got 2,000 pounds extra fuel on it. But like I said, this is the, it'll make more sense to, never mind. But anyway, uh, just to think about it and edit this one more time. I promise you, this is the last time I do this. I just thought about what I need to do instead of putting Dallas. Let's go back and put it in Lido. That way, it'll show the same. And really, what I'm trying to do is get you to look at and see how much that the I added two more thousand pounds to it for extra fuel. So you won't run out on the runway right before you get the runway like I did after a 3 hours flight, and I crashed. It was very interesting, very disappointed. Yeah, but kind of learn your lesson and say, hey, it's better to have too much than not enough, to tell you the truth. So, uh, back to my fuel here. Uh, and I guess this is for optimum climb and all this. So it did change the fuel up a little bit. Now my block fuel at KJN is 22,519 pounds. So you get a chance to play with this a little bit. No, you won't hurt it if you keep on editing and do this and do that. That's what it's for, and it's free. All right. Well, I hope that you learned something. I try to do, trying to get used to something wrong with my microphone. I don't know, but uh, it got it has a loud, well, echo. So everything I'm saying to you is being repeated back to me in through my headset. So I guess the way to do that would be just to cut the headset off, part off, and just use the mic. But either way, this has been Mr. Woods, and working on getting another mic and all that. On the next one or two, I will be going over more than likely Simbrief. I mean, Sky Vector. Sky Vector. I'm sorry. Uh, and we can go over the Sky Vector one and play with it. And remember, this is for the beginners. So I know all of those guys that have been out here and flying for 25 years. You all know this. Welcome to corrections, which I probably will have a few, but it's a down and dirty for the people that's trying to get started. All right. So this has been Mr. Woods, FSX, and I will see you on the next time. Thank you. Have a great day.